Hi, and thank you for joining me for the second half of our workout. So today we're going to be doing stretches. I did want to clarify with the hip-waist ratio, some of the limitations when we're taking those measurements. So first off, somebody that does have more than 35 BMI, it is hard to get accurate measurement. Also, the measurements are not really standardized. So somebody, another fitness trainer, taking the measurements versus another fitness trainer could actually come up with different measurements depending on where exactly they're placing the tape. Also, it can vary from month to month, just human inaccuracies. So even if I'm doing it on somebody consistently every 4 to 6 weeks, I could still position it in a different position without realizing, trying to be as accurate as I can, but human error, it's never possible to exactly get this exact same placement every time. So that could change and affect the numbers as well. Perfect, so let's move on to our stretches. So we're gonna do 3 stretches today. The first stretch we're gonna start with is going to be a cat-cow. So we wanna come onto our mat. We definitely wanna have a soft surface for this to support the knees and the wrists. So you can do a mat. If you do have knee issues, you can also grab a towel and place that underneath our knees. So the purpose of these stretches that we're going to do today is really to help. So our exercises were to strengthen the core, help alleviate some of that back pain. We're going to stretch out some of and relieve some of that tension in the back today. So we're going to come on all fours. So our knees are underneath our hips, our hands are underneath the shoulders, our back is in a neutral position. We can have our toes tucked underneath us and neck is nice and in line with the spine. So when we breathe in, we're going to round our back. We're going to tuck our chin in. And we're going to breathe out and we're going to arch our back and look up to the sky. And we're just going to take our time here, working through your breaths. So in and out. And really exaggerate the movements to really get a nice stretch through our spine. We're stretching our neck. So that's our cat-cow stretch. So the next stretch I'd like to move on to is a seated spinal twist. So I don't need my towel for this one. So with the spinal twist, we're just gonna come in a seated position. Our feet are going to be right in front of us. We're going to take one leg, we're going to step it over the other leg, making sure that we're keeping our spine nice and lengthened. Our neck is nice and lengthened as well. And we're going to take our far arm and we're going to move it over past our midsection and through the midline here, and we are going to push it onto the quads. And as we lengthen our spine, we're also going to twist and turn our head. So we're breathing through the movement. We're making sure that our spine is nice and long as we're twisting. And we're only coming to a point where we feel tension. We don't want to feel any pain here. If we feel pain, we should stop immediately. So just a point of tension, and we're going to hold this stretch for 30 to 60 seconds. And we can even, as we breathe, we can twist a little bit more if we feel the need to create a little bit more tension throughout the stretch. So we should be feeling this in our spine. We'll feel this in our glutes, in our hip. And we're just breathing through the stretches. Okay, so we would repeat this on the other side. We would cross our leg over on the other side, again keeping the leg on the floor nice and straight ahead of us, crossing our arm over the past the midline and twisting, keeping that spine nice and lengthened, and turning our head to the side, as well as just turning our whole torso to, again, the point of tension, and holding this for 30 to 60 seconds. Great. So the last stretch I have for us today is going to be a child's pose. So again, we're really focusing on stretching out that back to alleviate some of that back pain. So with the child's pose, we do want to come onto our knees, untuck those toes. Our posterior comes down to our heels, And we're gonna reach our arms out across the mat as far as we can comfortably reach and push our head down to the mat. So we should be feeling this in our shoulders, in our spine. We should feel this in our glutes, or sorry, not our glutes, our hamstrings. So we're just stretching this out. Now, if you're not capable of getting your head down to the mat, we can grab a towel. We can place that here to help support our neck and our head if we can't reach our head down to the mat. So at this point, just place it where our head would come down as we stretch. Another option is to widen our legs so that we're creating more space for our body to come down onto the mat. And we're taking nice deep breaths through this stretch. And we can also, if we'd like, we can move to one side until tension and hold it here. Again, we want to be holding these stretches for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds and doing some nice deep breathing through the stretch. So we can move to the other side, just moving the hands very slowly to the point of tension and then holding it here. And we'll hold that for 30 to 60 seconds, come back to center. And those are our stretches I had planned today.